my opinion, there's a couple of things. One, strategic flighting. So if you are going to utilize traditional channels or connected TV and more of in a less targeted fashion, you want to try to avoid those moments where political advertising is going to be at its height, when you know that you will likely be bumped or get less visibility. I think the other thing too to take into consideration is that from a traditional perspective, it's not too late to secure an annual or a long-term deal and do things that will be more advantageous to you. I actually think one of our audience members mentioned this as well, but with a long-term deal, you can negotiate added value that is protected. So maybe you run bonus weight in non-political windows. One of my recommendations to our advertisers is to negotiate added value that ties you to the station that cannot be preempted. So things like news, weather, traffic sponsorships that brand you to the station, tie you to the news, that are not going to be bumped for the sake of a political ad.
And I know we're well into the year. Is it too late for people to shift, to come up with a plan and or get these longer term opportunities solidified?
Absolutely not. So if you have an annual in place already and you want to make shifts, a good advertising partner is going to allow you to make a shift with spots. Maybe you shift weight to a less tense month. And long-term deals typically breed some type of added value. There are advertisers every day who are jumping in and out of their deals. So there is still added value at a premium level up for grabs.
I tend to agree with him, and I think the stations are always willing to work with us, and they realize the impact of the politicians on their inventory, and they want to work with us. I mean, like to Amanda's point, news, traffic, weather, or if it be a station feature that it's just a 5-second match, and it's just getting our name out there, and it shows true partnership.
After we had met and you taught me really about the spikes in different issues and the issue money, I looked up something, and I had a friend who previously ran for Congress, so I reached out, and they said the other thing is, especially in a local market around whoever's running, the issues can often shift now so quickly. So all of a sudden you'll see a lot of availability because something happened, something went viral, some major news broke, and they have to pull back from the spends of that message because that community is responding poorly, which goes back to our purple map, right? There's so much more blending that you couldn't just double down on a certain area with a certain message. So I would also keep your eyes peeled. Apparently there's a lot more of this pulling out and jumping in faster than ever before.
Yeah, I think with that, just kind of going back to some of the strategies, I think we touched on a little bit, but really leveraging the audience that you've already built. At this point, I hope you have some remarketing and some different ways to identify users on your website that may not be cookie based, although we did get some more information today that could be pushed back. But
are we surprised by that?
No, I'm surprised it took this long. But really, getting around some of that, the additional dollars that are coming into certain platforms from political and really just leveraging the people who have already shown interest in your business. Naturally, they're going to be more receptive to your messaging because they know who you are. They're going to be less likely to tune you out because you're not a random advertisement. They're conditioned to this time of year, and as we get further or closer to the election, it's only going to get worse. So really speaking to your audience in the manner and the way that they want to be spoken to, and obviously some incentive offers are always appreciated too, especially for some e-com and CPG type companies.
I think
first party audiences, man. And even though Google's rolling it back, that doesn't mean, I mean, we still only have 20% of the audience that we can retarget to. So
100%.
make sure that that's part of the solution for sure. Amanda, you're saying something?
I think leaning into your performance tactics too. So not just your first party data, those people who have already shown an interest, but utilizing really going in on paid search, making sure that you have an SEO strategy, because those people who have not yet found you in all of this craziness will find you if you are investing the right amount into those performance tactics.
Jen, what is something that someone should absolutely walk away from listening to this and do, especially if they are in a highly political environment?
I'd say know your market, work really closely with the media reps and the market people within your specific industry and the marketplace, and stay on top of it. If you know that it's going to come up, if you can get in within the political window or outside the political window, look for unique opportunities that can set your organization apart. And know that it's going to be very extremely difficult and competitive, but what can you do to stand out and make yourself differentiate from the crowd?
Well, I'm already preparing. I have like 100 books that I've purchased so I can stay off of anything that I consume. So definitely include radio and podcasts and that streaming audio realm. I think that's going to take off a lot over the next few months. All right. Is there anything else that we need to do before we wrap up today? Any other topics that we really want to make sure we're covering for our audience as they navigate the next 6 months?
I think just get creative a little bit, whether that's, a grassroots type of marketing more so than advertising. There is a lot of clutter out there. So I think whether it's creative messaging, your brand, just allowing your brand to stand out as much as possible. And if it's on a storefront or actually, in person, that's great. But if it's just being authentic, we talk a lot about brand in most of our webinars. And I think in a political, landscape, that becomes even more important because, your brand identity is truly what's going to allow you to stand out, as more political advertising, more political dollars enter, basically every market.
And as the economy continues to shift consumer buying because of what's happening in the world around us, I think now more than ever before, yes, brand is incredibly important, but what brand breaks down into is the personality of the organization. So I'm also seeing a lot of businesses that are showing more of their personalities of the humans behind the brick and mortar. That I think is why TikTok is so popular. It's not just these businesses and celebrities. It's the everyday, Joe or Jane that are getting their voice heard, and that's so attractive right now. Just following people that seem so normal, and every single business has really interesting, friendly, bubbly personalities that you can leverage. That probably would thrive in front of a camera, and it doesn't have to be well produced. Like the new iPhones are even anywhere close to newish iPhone is more than sufficient for those audiences. So definitely lean into that for sure. Amanda, what is the most important thing that you want somebody to walk away with to be able to navigate the next few months ahead?
Yeah, I think, and we just talked about it, but I think it's important for advertisers to know that not all is not lost. It's not too late to pivot in strategy. If there's anyone sitting here panicking about an advertising buy, there is plenty of time to shift strategy and work with your vendors so that you are more visible. You do have time to change your creative strategy. And I really like what you said, Subi. It doesn't, especially in those social channels, it doesn't take a 5-star production. It really, at the end of the day, is going to come down to those advertisers who are authentic.